Alrighty, guys. So now that we've gone through the whole dashboard and like where everything is at within Shopify, we'll start setting it up. So we're going to start going through all the settings and preferences to get everything set up. A lot of this stuff is going to be like a one-time setup. Couple things you'll change, like with your shipping or like when there's little changes with your store or your business as a whole. But this is pretty much a one-time setup, the settings. And then after that, we will actually build the website and go through the settings and design of the actual website. But this is kind of more the back end stuff, setting up the domain name, setting up what it would look like when you search for it on Google, the words that are going to show up in the name of the website, along with shipping and languages and stuff like that. So we'll get into it here. There are going to be some things that I won't dive deep into here. This video, we're just going to do all of the basic settings within Shopify and preferences to get a store up and going. The nitty gritty stuff with shipping and some other things that are going to be situational to your store specifically and different people differently. I will do specific videos on these, but with this video, going through all these settings and preferences, we'll be able to get a store. Any store will need to do all of these things to get up and running. So it's not much, but we'll go through it one by one. So the very first page from the home page is you want to go to preferences. And this is like a small settings page. And the very first thing you're going to see here, if you have not put a credit card in yet, is this password protection. It doesn't really matter. What this is a word that you put as a password and a message to your visitors that will basically just show on, this is so far your website. So you can change the message here and a passcode to get into it. However, this doesn't really matter because we're not really showing it to anybody and we're going to remove it as soon as you put a credit card in. So really you could skip it. It's not important. But if you want to do that, change the name, like I could put your best life as my password. So I could tell people that's the password and they could view the website when I start building it if I haven't paid for it yet. But once again, irrelevant and I message them. So the first thing here is your title. So this is going to be your title across when Google search results or when somebody shares your link on social media and whatnot. This will be the title of the website. So I'm going to put your best life Thailand. And then for SEO purposes, you can put some words that you want people to search for or describe your website: tours, villas, events, transportation, dining. I'll just leave it at that. And then you can put, this is going to be the little 2-3 sentence description, 320 characters, although some search results, depending on if you're on a tablet or a phone or what browser you're using and all this, can change how many characters are actually showed. So you want your most important words at the beginning. So I'm just going to put, and you don't be spammy and put like all capital letters, but it is nice to capitalize words to make them stand out, just the first letter. So I'll do something like that. Best deals on tours, accommodations, transportation, events, dining, and more. And I want to be, this is going to be a tourist-based thing. So I'm going to mention some of the most major places have been Thailand, and more in Phuket, Bangkok, Chiang Mai, Pattaya, Phi Phi Islands, Koh Tao, and more. I can fill this out more later, and you can tweak it at any time. I just want to get some main things in here for me, for SEO purposes, location and products that we sell, services that we have. that you're mainly selling, your main thing. You can change this at any time. And then for the image, you do want to make an image this size. I'm going to do a video specifically on using one of my favorite apps for graphic design and video stuff is Canva. I'll have a link for Canva and whatever free deal or promo they have as well that you can use. But you can use Canva for free for the most part, and you would make an image that's this size. I'm going to make a whole other video on making that image, but for now, if you want, you can just upload your logo or whatever you might have for now, something that will allow it to be shared and have image to it. But I'm going to do a whole video on creating that image, so I'm going to save that for then. For country region, display the storefront that matches the visitor's location. So whoever's on your website, yeah, why not? That like right makes sense. And then the language too, display the language that matches where your visitor's from when available. I don't see why not as well. So I would turn that on. That way, especially for me, people are going to be coming from all over the world for this website since it's a tourist-based website. Yeah, so puts in their language for them automatically. And then CAPTCHA for forms, checkout forms, contact forms, anything like that, or creating an account. Make sure that it's not a bot. Yeah, that's pretty normal these days, so we'll just keep those checked. And then crawler access. This is for this is a newer feature to Shopify, creating a signature. This can be used a bunch of different ways. I'm going to do a totally different video on this because you don't need it at all to get started. But it's for like submitting your website for SEO tests. You could have a universal footer for different authors on your blog. So I have each author's a bio and social media links and whatnot. You can do e-signatures or proof of shipment. So like when the delivery guy brings a product, there could be an integrated system where they sign and it links and it also, connects together so that you have proof of that. Much more technical stuff that you don't need for now. Now, this is one thing a lot of people forget to click save. I'm going to close this as well. And that's about all you really need to get started for the preferences page. Now, the big settings page is a different ball game. So the first page, general, you can go in here and put phone number and whatnot there. I don't have one yet for here, so put that in billing address, same thing, put yours. Currency display, I'm going to want to change this for different markets. I'm going to do a different video on that because it's not something most people need to do. Usually you're selling your product where you are, or it will automatically convert a lot of times, or people can manually do it, or a lot of people just know what USD is in their conversion. Once again, different video because I'm not going to need to, most people are not going to need to do that. I'm actually going to need to, but most people are not. So you kind of get the gist there. You can change it for wherever you live in your time zone, etc. Now, this is going to be the beginning of your order number. So as you get orders, you could make a custom something appear. So in this case, it'd be this number sign. So the first order you get will be like 1001 with the number sign. So I could do something like YBL, and it'll add that. So I know it's, a YBL tie. If you want to put some type of reminder, I don't have any need to do this, but if you had different entities or some type of reason you wanted to kind of put an extra customization to the order number, you can. After an order has been paid, this is going to be situational to your business, but automatically fulfill the order. It will automatically fulfill it. It'll mark it fulfilled, it'll mark it completed. It'll be up to you. I don't really ever recommend that for any situation. Unless you have an automated thing going on that's flawless, I probably wouldn't use that. Automatically fulfill only gift cards. So that could be useful because gift cards, usually the way I would set them up is if I've set it up, then I want people to use it or buy it. So why not automatically give them access to it? Maybe if you have some type of reason where you're only doing a certain amount, although you can already limit them so they would sell out. Um, or if for some other reason you want to manually check them, you can turn that off, but don't really need to worry about it. Gift cards are not something a lot of people even sell. And I usually just work with don't fulfill any order line items automatically. That's the safest bet. You can manually check everything. You can change this later. I would just stick with this. After an order has been fulfilled and paid, or when all items have been refunded, automatically archive the order. Um, you will mark it fulfilled because you have it don't fulfill without you doing it manually already checked. So when you mark it fulfilled, it'll automatically archive it. Yeah, that's good unless you want to have an extra step where you manually put them into archive. But I don't see. I think it's pretty good once you've checked it and you fulfill it. Just might as well archive it. And then meta fields. This is not something you need to know to get set up. This is to have different customizations within building your website for checkout. You could have certain things like putting a custom name for an engravery if you're doing custom engraveries or custom messages or something like this. Much more technical checkout thing, not something most people need for the start of any website unless that is your whole business model. But once again, subscribe and I will have a video specifically for setting up meta fields. So, and customizing meta fields within code. It's actually not as hard as it sounds, which is also why we have a Discord group, a free Discord group. So I have links to that in the description, the Discord group that is free that you can join. So you can ask questions in there and follow along with those more technical videos and get some assistance from other people doing it and me in there. So once again, way more technical than anybody needs to know when getting started. Your brand, this is important. I'm not going to do all of this right here on this video, but it is a logo. You upload a logo, upload a square logo. Usually it's going to be the same for there, 512 by 512 pixels. And, we can have a video about creating logos where you use Canva or AI for that nowadays. And your primary colors. This is going to be important for your store. You can pick a color that you want to kind of go with, and you can even type in, I'm going to put in my actual red that I want and contrasting. I'm going to have to play with these as you actually build the website. This is something you would come back to as you build the website. These will just automatically set these colors in for everything that you do moving forward, assuming that you want to start with those colors and you can change them, of course. A cover image. This is like when you're sharing it again in certain places, it'll use this image. The important thing to note is just make an image with this, the sizing here. And once again, that would be in a video for the Canva images, but that we put there. And a slogan. This is like a tagline that is, you can use this for SEO. Like once again, I would just copy paste what I put on my other one. But best deals on tours, villas, events, dining, tours, villas, transportation, events, dining, and more in Thailand. This, I'm not actually going to have this be visible on my website. I think it looks tacky, but it's like if you have a logo and a tagline, it's like old school websites. You would have like the name and the tagline, like they don't really do that anymore. But you can put it there for SEO purposes, so it's in there. You always, when it comes to SEO, and we'll have videos specifically about SEO, but when it comes to it, one of the main things is just fill out everything they ask for in full and detailed. That's pretty much what SEO is in a biggest nutshell. So if it's there, it's best to have it filled out. And a short description. For now, I'm just going to put this same one, but I will add in Phuket, Bangkok. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just putting that in for SEO purposes. And then, of course, add your social media accounts. And you can do all these on your own. I'm just going to do these two really quickly. And I'll do our TikTok as well. So that will be it for that page. And remember to click the save button. Okay, so moving forward with the plan, we're not going to select it now, but you can go ahead and do that now if you want, and choose your plan and get started, and then you can remove your password. That's where you'll do this. And this will show you your other apps that you're paying for if you have any. Your billing, this is where it'll show your billing. Pretty self-explanatory. Users, this is if you have staff members and the roles that they can do. Once again, not necessary for getting set up yet, and you usually have to pay to have other users. So you can invite people though to just work on your website if you're hiring a developer or something like that. That's where you would add them. Once again, not necessary for getting set up. Payments. So you're gonna want to complete your account setup with Shopify Payments. And this is going to be connecting your own bank account and all that. You're running as an individual or a registered business. I'm just going as an individual for now. And I'm not going to do all of this now, but this is going to be just your information. I don't really need to show you that. It's going to be situational to you. Now checkout. This is important. So checkout, this is how you're going to, the customer contact method. This is how you're going to collect the information you're going to collect from your customer, your phone number or email. And that's usually what I like to get, or just email. I like to do phone number and email. Show link for customers to track their order. This is an app that Shopify owns. You can use it if you want. I kind of like to turn it off. It's just like an extra thing. I mean, you can turn it on because it gives them security. It's really up to you. It makes them download, I believe, another Shopify app to like check their order. And it's only if you actually are providing updates like that. I'm actually going to leave it off for now, but you can add it later. It's here nor there, really. It could add some security level, like people feel more comfortable with it, or they just wouldn't even think of it. And there's also other shipping apps that you might use, so it becomes situational as well. I'm just going to turn it off for now. Require customers to sign into their account before checking out. So basically, it's kind of like actually requiring them to have an account or not. It's up to you. Of course, if you don't make them have an account, then it's a less of a barrier for them to purchase something from you. If you force them to have an account, then I don't know, you could do some certain things with that, I guess, if you're creating community and all that, but you don't really need them to have an account. You're gonna have other customer information if they buy something regardless. So for now, I'm not going to have my customers have them create an account for no real reason. They don't need an account. It's just a extra level of barrier entry, if you will. Not necessary unless you, like I said, have more community thing going on. So for full name, only require last name. No, I'm gonna always do first and last. It's pretty standard. Company name, just don't have it at all. I think optional is good. That way, it depends on the business. If you want to do B2B business eventually with people, it might be good to collect like, okay, who's all my customers that own a business, because they would put their company name in there if they wanted to, I guess. So I like to leave it optional. They can skip it if they don't want to put anything in. Address line 2, optional. Of course, if they have an apartment unit, it's pretty standard to have that. Keep that. and shipping address, phone number. So the thing about this is up here, they can put their phone number or email. They don't need to put both. And then down here, you can require a phone number for a shipping address. I like to do this because then it makes them, uh, or you could even just do email up here and then also put phone number required here. And this way it would force them to give both at some point to do the full checkout. They would start with just having to give their email when they're checking out, but when they're going through the checkout process, so the shipping would area would make them require a phone number. That's kind of a good way to make sure you get both. Um, yeah, yeah, it's kind of a good combination there. Maybe change that to just email then. You can choose how to do that. It's up to you. But that's kind of how that works. It's kind of a finicky thing there. Marketing options, display a check mark for customers to sign up for this. Yes, you want to do this. And this is to be legal for both sending SMS text messages and emails, newsletter emails, marketing ones specifically, legally. And you can customize these labels that you are going to use for this. This is a little bit more of a technical thing because it also goes into your privacy policy, your terms of use. There's certain things that you need to have. I'll have a more specific video for that. It is the legal side of getting everything set up, but Shopify provides them for you actually. You just have to kind of fill in the gaps. So um, this is not loading, so can't really show you that right now. But once again, something more technical you don't really need. Just turn them both on for now so you're compliant. Tipping, if you want to allow people to tip, you can set a 10, 15, a percentage way, or you can make it so that it doesn't actually show that until they click it and then it'll open this up. It's proven that if it's there, you sometimes people just randomly tip. I think it's nice to have it there. People don't have to do it. It's not forced. So checkout language, once again, situational to you. Address collection. Use the shipping address as the billing address by default. This used to not even have to click into that to do that. But yeah, you just leave that. It's most people's shipping address is the same as their billing, and they can choose to change it if it's not. But most people, it's nice to just already have it in there. Once again, easier for them to check out is always better. Add to cart limit, protects your available inventory. So set a maximum quantity per item that can be added to a cart. So I don't actually want to do this. I'm going to turn this off because we're going to be selling a lot of things that are unlimited, or I will just know my inventory and have my inventory in there. This is like if you want customers to only be able to buy like 1 or 10 of something, or like only can buy 5 tickets or 10 tickets or 4 tickets or 2 tickets to something. Or if you sell out and you want to make it fair. But I just turn that off and just sell more, right? And this would be if you installed some apps, you'd have some checkout rules, but that would be only if you installed apps for those. So that's the whole checkout settings. Moving forward, customer accounts. So show sign in links. Sign in links in the header of the online store. So yeah, this is just like an option to sign in. It's just, do you want to have customer accounts or not? Basically is the real question there. And then customer accounts, sign in with a one-time code sent to their email. Customers create an account and sign in with an email and password. Up to you. This is pretty much standard these days, wouldn't you say? So it's going to keep it. Authentication, manage sign-in methods, and account access. So like this is going to be the one-time code or authentication apps actually by that in this case. I'm not going to actually mess with that. Oops, let me go back into here. That is you can add Google and Facebook so they can. This is actually so they can log in and authenticate without like filling it. I'm gonna do a different kind of video on setting that up though, just because it's not necessary to get started, basically. Self-serve returns. No, I don't really know anybody that does this. I'm just going to say leave that off. You can look more into that if that's something that you want to do. Allow customers to return, do their own return process. I don't think anybody really, there's much use for that. Store credit, allow customers to see and spend store credit. Yeah, if they have gift cards, they want to see that. Or if you give credit back instead of cash back, which you can do, it's a way for them to see that. And this is just automatically generated. I would just leave it. You can configure it, but there's not much of a reason to. Okay, so moving forward, shipping and delivery. Once again, this is going to be something that's going to get its own video. It's going to be situational to you. You can just leave this as is for now. And yeah, it's going to be free for 50 and up. But I'm going to do a whole video on this. You don't really need to change any of this to get started. But there is some stuff in here that you definitely will want to look at least once. And it may change as you do business, where you do business, how you do business, who you do business with, both your suppliers and customers. All this stuff could become situational to that. So it's going to get its own video because you don't really need to change much yet. Taxes and duties, this is pretty much, you don't really need to get into this. It already knows where you're at, and you've already registered your business or your name somewhere, so it's going to work accordingly. If you want to do certain taxation things for different countries, this is where you would do that. Once again, not necessary to get started for most people. Locations, this is going to be if you have more than one location. Once again, most people don't here unless you're doing a physical business. Your apps, gonna get into all sorts of apps. And another reason to subscribe, we're gonna have a bunch of videos with app features. There's lots of different apps to do a lot of the same things and lots of different things. And it can be hard sometimes to figure out which app to use. So we're gonna do detailed app in-depth app dive-ins for different things, for shipping apps, for all sorts of things. There's so many things you can do with apps, but this is where you would go to the Shopify App Store, which I could show you really quickly if it loads, and just start searching for apps to add to your Shopify store. Once again, super cool, super fun, kind of addicting to be honest. But they have tons of free ones. We'll get into lots of videos with that, so make sure to subscribe for that. If you have any questions for that, ask in the Discord as well, with the link in the description of the free Discord. Sales channels. This is your sales channel as of now is just going to be your online store. Shop, that app that I mentioned earlier that Shopify also owns, is another way to like shop. You can automatically add, everything gets added to shop. Point of sale is like if you're at your actual physical store and you're ringing up an order there. So these just kind of come with Shopify. You can add things like social media channels. So if you sell on TikTok, if you sell in eBay, maybe even like things like Whatnot and other social media based selling apps, you can add those here. Google, when you run Google ads, it'll become one. Your domain. So I am going to connect actually an existing, but if you do not have a domain yet, you can buy one right here, which is the easiest way, honestly. I use GoDaddy. They have great customer support. I've been with them forever. I have links for GoDaddy as well. If you want to buy a domain and connect it like I'm doing, GoDaddy's great for that. Or you can just buy the domain right here if you don't have one yet. So I got a new one that I'm shortened up. I'm going to use. So with GoDaddy, you can connect automatically. Although I believe I need to do it on my other browser because I don't believe I'm logged into. Yeah. So I basically you connect to this with GoDaddy, you can connect automatically. I just need to log in. So I'll do that on another, not when I'm recording. And it'll do it automatically. I will do another video on specifically on connecting domain. It is like necessary to get started. If you buy a domain through Shopify, boom, you're done. It's all set up. But I'm going to do a video specifically on that. It is important, but it's kind of its own thing. So, and a bit more technical. So I'm going to skip it for the sake of this video. But this is where you do it. It's actually super easy. You could probably figure it out without even needing the other one. But customer events, this is like where you see like people came from Facebook, or they came from Instagram, or they came from various searches and what they did, and they clicked certain things. And if you want to retarget them, you'd add what they call a pixel here, is like Facebook knows what ad you clicked and where they were on the website and what they did, and you can retarget them. This is much more technical and definitely not needed for getting started. But it's where you would do that. Notifications, definitely important, although you can leave it as is to get started. Customer notifications, these are going to be like emails, confirmation order. So you can customize the text and the email that your customers receive when different things happen. Let me get back in there. So this is where you would change all of those emails. These are emails for a draft order invoice, when you send an invoice, a shipping confirmation email, all these different situations, and you can customize your own for specific situations. You can see there's lots of them. You can customize all those emails, and that's where you do that. I will do some in-depth video about that, although it's not necessary. These emails are pretty much standard, the ones that most people use. I would only really change things if I was promoting something specific, or if I wanted to add a certain feature with my things, or a customized message that's more personal. That's a good reason. But most of these are pretty straightforward and like standard to like what most people are already used to receiving from most websites, seeing as most people use Shopify. Even the biggest companies in the world use Shopify. So pretty much everybody's already familiar with the basic email that most people have already seen. Meta fields, once again, this is for like customizing like certain fields, like if you want to put custom engraved names, or various web design elements or checkout elements. It's web design side of things. So this I will get into when we're actually designing the website, but this is like far more technical, and most people don't even need to use these. But it is really cool, some of the stuff you can customize with your website and product listings if you need to. It can be a bit confusing, but can do some really cool things with it. Languages, pretty self-explanatory. You can add a language, although it's also already checkmarked that it will convert into whatever language. In the other settings, we already set it so to automatically go to whatever that person's language is. So not super necessary. Customer privacy. So this is where you are going to have your privacy policy, your cookie banner, like the do you accept cookies that we always get now, and opting out of data sharing for specific states and whatnot. Shopify pretty much already has this set up for you, like how it needs to be for your location. You can see here, this is the privacy policy that they already give us, and there may be things you want to change in it, but comes pretty much good to go. I can do another video of this if you guys want it. It's probably not something most people need. And then here is where you're going to do your other policies. So you'll see here, if I do like my terms of service, Shopify has templates I can just insert, and you just change your address, your phone number, registration number, whatever, not all of it is always used by every business either. So it's going to be, once again, situational to you, and then you publish it. I'll do a video on this, although it is, once again, pretty much just situational to you. It's going to be your contact information, not mine. So, but there is some practices. You want to have your contact information on the bottom of the website on every single page. So in the footer, we would put it on every single page. You want to have a contact page. You want to have all your policies completed and linked in the footer clearly. There's a lot of things, and I'm going to have very detailed stuff about doing Google ads later, that Google checks for and will block so many websites, so many e-commerce websites or websites in general, from getting to Google ads, getting to shopping ads, getting to Google listings, because you don't have like the specific things set up the way Google wants them. And this is like one of them: contact information, these privacy policies and all that. So this stuff is super important, but like I said, situational to you. So you can just do this on your own uh, better than I even can. And also, Shopify has a pretty much out of the box a good one ready to go to get yourself started. So I will do another video on this because it is important, but like I said, it's situational to you, so you can kind of go through and add those and just insert the template and change the parts that you need to. So that is it, guys. Those are all the preferences and settings for setting up the Shopify store. It's not building the shop or the store or the website yet. It's just all the settings to get set up. So in the next video, we're going to jump into actually building out the website, designing the website, which is a fun part, a tedious part. Tricks and tips definitely come through and through in that phase of things. But like I said, you can start with a totally free template, and a lot of people don't even need more than that. I probably won't use one for at least a while on this one. I do already own some that I legally can just use now if I'd like to. But we'll get all into that into all that in the next video. Like I said, join the free Discord group. Please subscribe. This is a new channel, and I really appreciate it. We're going to have detailed videos on everything Shopify, Shopify apps, customizing websites, making money online with drop shipping, high ticket drop shipping specifically is what I do. But I also do low ticket, in this website we're building here is going to have some low ticket and maybe some high ticket even too, combination. Also print on demand, affiliate marketing, SEO, loads and loads of things. So join the free Discord group, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video of building out the website, building out a Shopify website. So thanks, guys. Peace.